Tony Romo's wife Candace in attendance at family night this evening. This is Tony's first camp as a married man. Just one of the things changing number 9. We've talked to teammates who say he's taken on more of a leadership role. We get into that a little bit and some more topics as well. One-on-one tonight with Tony Romo. 9th year in the league, been the starter for a long time now, 31 years old. Does the clock tick a little more loudly in your ear when you look at your career now?
I think there's 2 phases to your career. The first one, you're learning so much stuff. You're going through the experiences of a lot of different things. And then you go into that second phase where you're probably not going to be fooled too much by what the defenses are doing. You're probably to a point where you feel very comfortable, at least I do, throwing a football every day. You wake up and being really, really accurate. And then it's about how good can you make the people around you and yourself, and what level can you go to as a team. And I think I'm just starting that second phase to see how good we can be.
Romo, quarterback draw, up the middle, runs it in.
You were a communications major. You're married to a broadcaster. Put the analyst hat on for a minute and talk about Tony Romo, the quarterback, strengths and weaknesses. Give me a brief synopsis as an outsider. Tough to do, but if you're an outsider looking at your game, how do you analyze it right now?
He just doesn't have any weaknesses. I mean, I think that's just obvious. No, I think that you're always, mine are just from a single experience predominantly. In other words, why did I make that decision? Why were my feet in this position? Why was I not able to make that throw? And then you go out and do it. And for me, it's always been this year it's this year it's this year it's this. And you're always trying to get a little bit quicker motion, a little bit better feet in position when you're letting it go to be more accurate, depending upon where you need to throw the ball. They're more refined the older you get. They're littler things.
Are you a social media guy? Facebook, Twitter? Do you have a Facebook page or a Twitter feed?
Not that I know of. I'm sure there's something out there,
but none that are authentic.
None that really that I would talk on. I think there might be something a long time ago, but I can't be for sure on that stuff. No, there's nothing that I really do. No.
Why not?
Well, I just think for me, I've gotten to a point where I would prefer a little more privacy than the other side of it. And you know that a lot of it goes with playing the position. But I also know that it helps people around me, family and stuff like that, if they don't have to deal with all the outside things sometimes.
Well, I do have a Facebook page, and I asked for questions for you, and the one that stuck out a little bit was from a female who asked, what have you learned about women as a result of being married? See, I don't want to have to ask that myself, so somebody else asking it for me.
That was good. That's a great way to intro it, too. That's perfect. What have I learned about women? Well, I don't know about women in general. I've learned about my wife. We kind of are redoing the house a little bit. I thought the house was really good. I really didn't think that we needed to do too much stuff. But supposedly we need to make it our home now, because it was more of my home before. So I can see that point of view. So we've decided to do that. It almost seems like the woman gets a little more control when they get into that position. But if you pick a good one like I did, I think you're willing to give up some of that stuff.
Cowboys quarterback Tony Romo, one-on-one tonight. Ben Rogers, Jeff Skin Wade from ESPN 103.3 FM with me. Ben, let me start with you. When I think about Tony Romo, I can't decide whether he's overrated or underappreciated. His critics say he's overrated because he's the Cowboys quarterback, but he is 4th all-time in passer rating. Or is he underappreciated in that his stats have been fantastic and people put all the blame on him because they haven't won big games?
Mike, I think he's underappreciated. If you go back to his last full season, his numbers were almost identical to the numbers Aaron Rodgers had last season, and everybody said Aaron Rodgers is the greatest quarterback ever. Then he got to the playoffs, and his line betrayed him, and he had a defensive lineman in the backfield every snap. I believe in Tony Romo. I think this is the season of number 9. When you got a playmaking quarterback like Romo, anything is possible. So I think the Cowboys have a chance this year.
I think the people that are hard on Romo forget what life was like before he got here. I mean, we ran through so many bad quarterbacks, and I know last year he started the year, didn't have a good start, and then he got hurt. I think think the whole team got off to a bad start, and especially that offensive line. Ben mentioned the way the offensive line performed in the playoffs the season before. The offensive line got off to such a bad start. I think it impacted the way Romo started the season. Then he got hurt, and the whole season was a wash.
Romo, in large part, is a clone of his head coach, Jason Garrett, and it becomes maddening to those of us in the media because, you know, Garrett is just so methodical in the way he goes about